every time you leave your dog home alone? Well, you could try to invent a pet parent replacement robot specifically designed to help your dog feel less alone.
Good doggy.
Or you could simply plug in some Thunder Ease. Thunder Ease helps your dog feel calm during the scary stuff like fireworks, thunder, or being alone. Available in a calming diffuser, spray, or collar. Thunder Ease is drug-free, vet-recommended, and 100% guaranteed. So ease their anxiety with Thunder Ease.
Tomorrow on ET Only, we are camping with the co-hosts of The Talk.
Can we bond at the Four Seasons next time? I feel you, Cheryl. How their Amazing Race Challenge went off the rails.
Please, Amazing Race, let me go against Nichelle Turner. Please.
Kevin Frazier, don't even play with me. Keep
All right, before we go, the nominations are in for the 2022.
Happening now.
On the city's southeast side, a home inspection leads to a major bust and more than 10 people being questioned. Good afternoon, I'm Alicia Barrera, and coming up, what they found inside and will anyone be facing charges?
And a first look at property tax relief. City staff recommending a few measures to cut your property taxes, what it would include, and who it would help. Coming up.
More record-challenging heat on the way. We're going to talk about that and an interesting look at how much rain it would take to dig us out of our drought. The News at 5 starts right now.
We begin with late-breaking and tragic news first at 5. Imagine you're on the street talking to your neighbor when she's killed right in front of you.
That's exactly what happened to a San Antonio woman around 11 o'clock this morning. Police say it happened along Oak Hill Road near Viva Max Drive, right across the street from Dolores B. Linton Elementary School.
Investigators say the victim's name is Irma Lozano. We spoke with one of Lozano's friends about this tragedy that played out while the two of them were speaking.
What happened was we were talking face to face. I was like 5 feet or 3 feet away.
It happened in an instant as they were talking on the phone. Lily Delgado says she has daily conversations with 78-year-old Irma Lozano. Today started like any other.
She was walking her dog with her son.
A driver ran into her friend right before her eyes.
A car came and just picked her up in front of me. I don't know how to explain other than fast, and she landed over there.
According to Lily, officers at the scene told her Lozano landed about 100 feet away from where she was hit. Lily says she saw the driver continue on till she hit a tree.
She hit it so hard that the tree came out with the root.
At that point, Lily says she yelled for help, asked her grandson to call 911, and waved out Lozano's son, who continued walking the dogs while she was talking to his grandmother.
When he got to me, he said, what's going on? Because he saw the trees, and I said, your mom, go check.
Neighbors say speeding in the area is a common problem, though it's unclear whether the driver was speeding at the time of the crash.
We don't know if speed was a factor. It does appear, though, like alcohol was. At last check, that driver has been charged with intoxication manslaughter.
Police thought they were dealing with a complaint, but found what they call an illegal gambling operation. Police say it was happening at a home on East South Cross. Our Alicia Barrera is at that scene with more.
Good afternoon. Well, this all started due to a complaint, and it's not known who or exactly what they were concerned about, but we do know that code compliance officers showed up to the home to inspect it, and that's when they discovered that illegal gambling operation. Inside the home were a total of 24 eight-liner machines, and that was enough to secure a search warrant from a judge. During the search, SAPD says they also found 2 stolen vehicles and narcotics. No word from police on if cash was recovered during this operation, but inside there was a handwritten sign on the wall that read, quote, "Play at your own risk and tips are appreciated." Pictures also show graffiti on the walls, clothes and trash scattered on top of eight-liners, where a total of 13 people were inside.
It looks to be an abandoned, vacant building with they found 24 operable eight-liners inside there, but otherwise it's pretty scarce.
A dog was also found, and it's unclear in what state that dog was in. However, it was confirmed it's now under the care of Animal Care Services. As far as the people that were arrested, the number has not been confirmed, as well as if they had any direct role in this illegal gambling operation. Reporting Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
A San Antonio man facing charges after he reportedly robbed 3 mail carriers in San Antonio and Austin. His name is Tony Evans. He's 24 years old. He's accused of confronting mail carriers and demanding their keys. This happened back in July and August of last year here in San Antonio and in Austin in April. On 2 separate occasions, authorities say Evans had a gun. He's now charged with robbery of mail, money, or property of the United States.
All right, so question for you. Just raise your hand here if you want your property taxes to go down. There you go.
Yeah, it's something that home and property owners around the city have been asking for since appraisals began going out in April and even years before that. But Garrett Berger tells us state law also forcing city leaders to take some action. Garrett joins us live. Garrett.
Absolutely, Steve. The state caps how much more property tax revenue the city can bring in compared to the year before. If they go over that cap, they have to hold an election on the tax rate. Pretty unrealistic option considering everybody's tax rate, their property appraisals at the moment. So the city's looking to cut their tax revenues in a couple different ways. Now, city staff said they looked at about 15 scenarios for providing tax relief. The mix they're recommending would increase the homestead exemption, which is currently at the bare minimum of $5,000, up to 10% of your home's taxable value. Exemptions for disabled and senior homeowners would also each be raised to $85,000. And the property tax rate would be lowered. That would affect not only homeowners, but also commercial and multifamily properties, too. Council members generally supportive of the plan.
So basically, almost everybody will get some kind of a tax improvement in their situation, a city tax. But we have nothing to say about any other taxes around. So we can only do what we can do. I appreciate that.
Councilwoman Phyllis Villagrán, representing District 3 on the south side, did have concerns about what effect the kind of tax relief could have on the city's ability to provide basic services. Now, city manager, though, says the city can afford this tax relief. Now, the city council will not set the actual tax rate until they pass the budget coming up in September. But to do those exemptions, like your homestead exemption, they've got to get that done before July. They're scheduled to take those up at a June 16th meeting. Live at City Hall, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Garrett. Well, it's been made official. The remainder of the season for the San Antonio Symphony has been canceled. The latest development after musicians went on strike back in September. That strike began after Symphony managers moved to make cuts to staff and benefits. Today, managers announced the Musicians Union has now walked away from the negotiating table. In a statement, the Symphony Society of San Antonio says in part, quote, "Therefore, we have no other option other than to cancel the remainder of our announced concerts through June. This decision was made largely out of respect for our audience and what they can reasonably expect to attend this season." End quote. We have a team working to get reaction from the musicians who are on strike. We'll bring you the full story tonight on the Night Beat at 10.
As the fallout continues from the leaked Supreme Court's draft opinion that would overturn abortion rights, House Democrats have vowed to do something. The thing is, the measure they want to pass to protect abortion rights is likely to fail. ABC's Faith Abube has the story.
Congressional Democrats are trying to find a legislative path to protect abortion rights under federal law. The vote to advance the Women's Health Protection Act taking place in the Senate. But Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer arguing the vote is important in light of that bombshell leaked draft Supreme Court opinion written by Justice Alito, suggesting federal abortion rights could soon be overturned.
For the first time in 50 years, a conservative majority, an extreme majority on the Supreme Court is on the brink of declaring that women do not have freedom over their own bodies. The
Women's Health Protection Act would protect access to abortion under federal law and state restrictions and limitations like mandatory ultrasounds and waiting periods, and would give healthcare providers the right to provide abortion care. Senate Democrats say they're open to ending the 60-vote threshold needed to pass the bill, but don't have enough support. Republican Senators Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, who support some abortion rights, say they will vote against the bill, saying it's more broad than Roe v. Wade itself. Collins writing, quote, "I plan to continue working with my colleagues on legislation to maintain, not expand or restrict the current legal framework for abortion rights in this country." Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell, who recently floated the idea of a national abortion ban, blasting the Women's Health Protection Act.
Democrats' bill would functionally allow elective abortion through all 9 months abortion until the moment of birth.
Overnight, more protests.
Keep abortion safe and legal.
Dozens of demonstrators on both sides chanting outside the U.S. Supreme Court.
Abortion is murder.
Democrats say if the legislative path to pass a federal abortion rights law doesn't work, they're going to let voters decide. And in the wake of the Supreme Court's leaked draft opinion, a new poll now shows a majority of Americans, 52%, disapprove of the job the court is doing. Other polls have shown most Americans do not support overturning Roe. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
We have some new video in connection with the Alabama jail escape that ended with a jailer dead and an escaped inmate heading back to prison. Take a look. This video was taken on Monday. It shows part of the chase involving murder suspect Casey White and ex-correctional officer Vicky White fleeing authorities in Evansville, Indiana. It wasn't long after this chase started that the two crashed and authorities found Vicky White with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. She did not survive it. Casey White, on the other hand, is now back in Alabama facing even more charges, including escape in the first degree. Want to check out traffic right now? This is I-10 at the Y, right by the Fine Silver building there. You can see traffic is moving very smoothly as I-10 splits and goes downtown or out west.
I always take a deep breath when we show that camera.
I was watching the cars, not speeding, doing a very nice job there. We've had some trucks.
Yes, make sure there's no trucks on their sides. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's take a look at how we've done so far today, temperature-wise. Take a look at our data here. So far, high temperature, 95 in San Antonio. That's 10 degrees above average, but 5 degrees shy of the record, 100, set back in 1967. Talia's backyard, Eagle Pass 93, along with Panna Maria, Floresville 95, Mico 93, Canyon Lake 93 degrees. Pretty straightforward this evening, mostly clear, unseasonably warm, and a southeasterly wind at 10 to 15. We'll fall through the 80s. How much rain would it take to get us out of our drought? We're going to talk about that in just a minute.
Adam, thank you. So we're going to start with the good news. Now on inflation, it's decreasing. Bad news. It's not enough for you to notice. The Consumer Price Report released new numbers today, and they showed mixed messages when it comes to cost concerns and inflation. Take a look. A reprieve, at least for now. The U.S. inflation rate declined for the first time since August, and while prices still increased, it's happening at a slower pace than in previous months.
I'm a little hesitant to call it good news because we don't know, of course, where it's going to go in the next few months.
According to the new Bureau of Labor Statistics numbers released today, the Consumer Price Index was up 8.3%, a decrease from the 8.5% in March, which marked the highest inflation level in more than 40 years. The numbers suggest the inflation peak could be behind us, but major global events continue to shake up the economy.
Of course, the war in the Ukraine that Putin is waging is having an effect on energy prices in particular.
That means Americans may not see an improvement just yet. Housing, food, and plane tickets had some of the steepest price increases.
Gas prices are higher today than they were a few weeks ago. Families are paying over $150 in many cases to fill their vehicle, and they're angry about it.
America's fighting on two fronts. At home, it's inflation and rising prices.
Now, the pressures that have kept inflation rising for months are still strong, and that is a problem for American households that are already struggling.
All that talk about skyrocketing prices might have you thinking about ways to save. Well, when it comes to gas, we got you covered. After the break, we're going to share some gas-saving tips and ways to stretch your tank. You're watching the News at 5, where we want to help you save some money. We'll be right back.
Tonight on the News at 6, we are heading to Seguin. Yes, there is a population and housing boom in Seguin, one of the fastest growing cities in our area. And coming up at 6, RJ Marquez is going to tell us what city officials are doing there to keep up with the consumer demand and how many more people are expected to move to Seguin over the next decade. Also, ALS patients are on full alert after the FDA just pushed a new drug toward clinical trials that's shown success in delaying progression of that disease. A local patient explains what that would mean for people just like him. All that and a lot more tonight at 6.
Another day, another record at the gas pump, $4 a gallon, the average price in San Antonio this afternoon. That's according to Gas Buddy. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz shows us some of the easiest ways to stretch every drop and every dollar.
With gas in record territory, everything from commuting to weekend road trips is costing more. To manage your spending, it all starts with where you fill up.
Generally, gas stations well off major highways and away from city centers tend to have better gas prices, as do warehouse stores and some major travel centers.
Apps and websites like Gas Buddy, Gas Guru, and Waze can help you locate the best price near you. Paying with plastic that gives rewards for gas purchases helps if you don't carry a balance. Before you hit the road, check your tire pressure. Underinflated tires create drag and hurt fuel economy. Not sure of the proper pressure? Check the sticker in the door jamb. If you have a roof rack, even an empty one, consider removing it because it cuts down on aerodynamics and wastes gas. And auto expert Jennifer Stockberger says, take it easy.
The harder you accelerate, the more fuel you use. The goal should be to drive evenly and anticipate the movement of traffic while still obeying the speed limit. Smooth acceleration, cornering, and braking also help to extend the life of your engine, transmission, brakes, and tires too.
Using your AC takes more fuel, but driving with open windows on the highway likely uses even more. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
All right, now we're going to take things outside where, oh, how nice. Just Sky 12 there, giving us a live look over downtown where things look nice and sunny. 95 degrees right now, Adam.
And it looks like one neighborhood there on the east side getting a little bit of shade from a cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're the lucky ones.
You know it's pathetic when that's what we're cheering on right now. When you get shade from a cloud. Oh, please help us here. All right, we have a lot to talk about, surprisingly, right? A lot to go over. I've got some good information here, some interesting stats. High temperatures first, they stay in the 90s. Record challenging heat on the way. Total lunar eclipse Sunday night. Tell you what time's best to view it. And then our drought conditions, unfortunately, will continue. Take a look at the drought monitor. And of course, this is updated every Thursday. So come tomorrow, we will have a new one. But that's not the point of what I'm showing you here. We've got some interesting information from NOAA and the National Center for Environmental Information on how much rain it would take to get us out of the drought. Between now and the end of August, we would need 17 inches of rain in San Antonio and that climate zone that's highlighted there in order to actually pull us out of the drought. The Hill Country would need 17.4 inches, and we'll go over other parts of the KSAT 12 viewing area coming up at 6 o'clock. But interesting information. The odds of that happening, by the way, when you look at some of the long-range climate models, less than 2%. I wish I had better news. Unfortunately, I don't. And Saturday, a 10% chance of a stray shower. Otherwise, just a lot of sunshine. So here's our overall weather pattern. Why are we so dry right now? Well, it's the upper level high, the blue H. It's a split high. It's just off to the east of us, but still we're underneath the big ridge of high pressure and the big upper level ridge. The activity closer to the west coast and the Intermountain West. That's where we have a big dip in the upper level flow and another big dip that's offshore that's actually going to move westward, what we call retrograde, and move into the southeastern U.S. Now, this is directly associated with the jet stream being way to our north. Jet stream's way to the north. Remember the jet stream? That's the difference between the cool air and the warm air. It's directly tied into that. And so the cool air on the north side of the jet stream, look at Salt Lake City, 69, Las Vegas, 68 degrees. LA at 65, 57 in Wyoming. Meanwhile, you go to Chicago, it's 88, St. Louis, 94, San Antonio, 95 degrees. So we're not all that different from here all the way to Chicago. We're all seeing these warm temperatures, and for them, it's even more above average. 99 now, Eagle Pass, Cotulla, 97. You get to Victoria, 90 degrees, Kennedy at 93. This is very similar to what we've had the past couple of days. Castroville, 97, Converse and Seguin now at 91. Here's your KSAT 12-hour forecast. We'll fall through the 80s this evening, and then even 70s overnight tonight. 72 degrees at 7 a.m. tomorrow, low gray clouds early, and then becoming sunny by the noon hour, probably even before. 88 degrees at noon. About 4 or 5 p.m. we'll hit our high temperature of 96 degrees tomorrow afternoon. More specifically, you look across our area, Bernie, Bulverde, about 91, Canyon Lake 92 tomorrow, Sabinal 97, Nixon, Smiley 95, and Floresville about 95 degrees. No big changes, really, all the way through the weekend, just adding on a few degrees, 97 Saturday and Sunday. That puts us in record challenging territory. I've got the records on the top part of the screen. I do think we'll at least tie or break a few records. Total lunar eclipse Sunday night should be good viewing, maybe a few high clouds, but that's it. Totality will be reached between 10:29 p.m. and 11:54 p.m. That's Sunday night.
Lunar eclipse of the heart. Sunday.
All right, Greg. So
he didn't sing it at least.
I didn't sing it. Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. So we're getting a sneak peek of the Cowboys.
Yeah, the schedule's kind of being leaked out day by day, and this is in particular interest of Cowboy fans, and more specifically Mike McCarthy, because it's his first game back to Lambeau Field. When we come back, we'll let you know what that date will be. And even though it was a blowout, we still have some drama at the end of this game coming up.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Mike McCarthy will make his first trip to Green Bay as a head coach of the Dallas Cowboys on November the 13th in Week 10 as part of the NFL's 2022 schedule that is being released today. This will be McCarthy's first trip to Lambeau Field after coaching the Packers for 13 seasons, including leading the Pack to the 2010 Super Bowl title, which ironically was played in AT&T Stadium in Arlington, the worst snowstorm ever to hit North Texas that year. McCarthy was fired in December of 2018 after taking a year off, was hired by the Dallas Cowboys. This will be these teams' first meeting since 2019. The Packers hold a 20-17 edge over Dallas, including the postseason. The last time the Cowboys played the Packers at Lambeau Field was in 2016. Dallas won that game 30-16. All schedules will be released tomorrow. We're getting more information about Tom Brady's record-setting 10-year, $375 million broadcast contract from Fox when he retires from football. Now, the 7-time Super Bowl champion is about to enter his 23rd year in the NFL by deciding to unretire and suit up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers again this season. But here's what is so insane about this contract. His career earnings as a football player are $332 million over 2 decades. Now he will make $375 million in just 10 years when he retires, and he'll turn 45 before the NFL season kicks off. Phoenix Suns are now 1 win away from advancing to the Western Conference Finals after they were able to dominate Dallas in Phoenix last night in Game 5. It was a tale of two halves as Luka Doncic, who finished with 28 points, 11 rebounds, made it a hard-fought battle in the first half, keeping within 3 at the break, down 49-46. But the Suns caught fire in the third quarter, starting the second half with an 11-4 run behind Devin Booker's 28 points, included 2 3-pointers during that run. The Suns outscored the Mavs 33-14 in the third quarter to take an 82-60 lead going into the fourth quarter, with 12 of those points from Booker in the period. The Suns would outscore the Mavs 61-34 in the second half on their way to a 110-80 victory and a 3-2 lead in this best-of-7 series. The only drama actually came in the closing moments when the Suns' Bismack Biyombo was fouled by the Mavs' Marquise Chris. Words were exchanged. Both players were ejected. We later learned that Biyombo went after Chris outside the locker room. Security reacted quickly to avoid another confrontation. Now it's about closing out this series on the road in Dallas tomorrow.
I understand how chippy it can be. We just want to win the game, and that's it. You know, we're trying to get one more win, and that's our focus right now.
It was weird after that happened because everybody's kind of looking away and nobody was really paying attention about the players. And then all of a sudden somebody goes, there's something going on backstage. And that's when they turned the cameras on and went, wait, he went after him back there.
2 very tall guys
just going after him. Never good.
Thanks, Greg.
Yikes. We'll be right back. It's been a pleasure having you with us today at 5 o'clock.
We'll see you back here at 6. World News is up next.